everyone, and welcome to the weekend edition of News Generation. We have a very exciting bulletin in store. My name is Ifwa Akwaya Harrison. Guess what? Today I have a co-host, Benis Abubedu. Let's go over to her for the headlines.
Coming up, government to close down a witch camp on Monday, 15th December. There are 6 of such camps in the country. Do you know SOS Children's Villages? We'll tell you what they do and why they should be on your radar this holiday season. And then they were 4. A series on stories on the very talented Monarch Band starts winding down this week.
Supported by
Cowbell with Vitarid.
So Benis, what should the kids remember at home?
They should remember that we are live and interactive.
On social media, that's facebook.com/newsgenerationgh or on Twitter @newsgengh. Now Benis, would you like to go with our first story?
Yes, I'd love to do that. And our first story is on witch camps. Witch camps. Yes, there are witch camps in Ghana. Well, over the years, they have become a haven for mostly women accused of possessing evil spirits by relations and community members. Now, government has a plan to close down the Bonyase witch camps in the northern region on December 15th, 2014.
They shouldn't close the camp because when they close it and they are to go to maybe a place where they are not known, by all means they will be known and they will be rejected. And also when they shouldn't close the camp so that they can change the name from witches camp to maybe the care for the aged camp.
I think they should close the camp because if they go to any community of their choice, maybe someone who has the power of God can pray for any of them and cast out the demon in them.
I think that they should not close the camp because when they close the camp, when they go back to their family members will think that still the witches and the demons are in them, so they'll reject them and sometimes they can beat them to death. When they beat them to death, they will not bury them, they can go and throw them at any place.
67-year-old Zinabu Suguru has been living in the Patinga camp for more than 6 years. Her brother said she was a witch, so she was sent here. Over the years, alleged witches have tried to protect themselves by running to these camps. Many innocent women are accused of being witches because of their ages. There is no real evidence to show whether someone is a witch or not. In the camps, it is proven by the way a chicken dies. If a chicken dies with its beak facing the ground, then it means the accused woman is guilty of witchcraft. The women here live in poor conditions. There are 6 of such camps in the northern region. Almost 700 old women live in these camps. 199 alleged witches have so far been freed within the past 1 year. Government on 15th December will close down the Bonyase witch camp. It is thought that closing down these camps will end human rights abuses on women who are accused of being witches. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is in charge of the process. It is also being coordinated by Action Aid, Sontaba, as well as the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Traditional Affairs.
Thinking of doing some good this holiday season?
Why don't you consider giving to the SOS Children's Villages? We tell you why in the following report. It's a Sunday morning and 14-year-old Bismarck Doffo is the first one up. He's the eldest of 7 children and is responsible for getting the house in order, sometimes even before his mother wakes up. He has 2 brothers and 4 sisters. They all eventually make it out of bed and get to work doing one thing or another.
They are just like you are in the house with your siblings.
So we play together, we learn together, and it is cool.
In Ghana, there are usually two types of families. The nuclear family with a mother, father, brothers and sisters. There's another type of family called the extended family. Mommy, daddy, siblings, and sometimes grandma, grandpa, uncle, auntie and cousins all living together in a home. But Bismarck's family is a little different. Not all the children here come from the same parents.
Around 2006, I was in Nigeria with my mom and my dad. So my mother felt very sick, and then my father brought her to Ghana, and she died in Ghana here. And after the burial, my mother's, the one my mother is after, came to fill the form at SOS. Then she brought us to SOS Kumasi.
It is an SOS home, and the children who live here are either orphaned or were abandoned by relatives. So they are now family to each other. Here, there is a mother and brothers and sisters. They live in the SOS village with other children who share the same fate and also share a father. He is the village director and sees that all 110 children here are taken care of.
The most interesting thing is, well, trying to create love for children you don't know anywhere. Children from various backgrounds, you have to create love for them. You have to tolerate them no matter the situation.
And this is Bismarck's family now. They will grow up together, made strong by a bond they all share. It's time to go to church, and Bismarck leads the way. His brothers and sisters not far behind. Now, Ghana and the rest of the world marked International Human Rights Day earlier this week. Now, you know, every child in Ghana has the right to education and proper upbringing. But some children were seen at Kokobite, a coastal community in the central region, pulling fishing nets during school hours this week. So if these children are not educated, how will they fit into the 21st century society? Here's what's up.
I think the Ghana Educational Service, they should educate them about the value of education so that the children can come to school to learn. They think it's a waste of time, so they are fishing. Their parents too, they have to advise their parents, so their parents to bring their children so that at the future they can also help their parents.
I think there should be employment of jobs and good salaries so that the parents can be able to pay their school fees and cater for them. To me, I don't think so, because education can send you too far.
They are depriving the children from their right to go for education. So I think the parent must go and acquire for a loan so that they can send their children to school. So when they are fishing, then when they get the money, they can use to go and pay the loan. But what they are doing is no good. They must not let the children go and fish.
Your very, very interesting views on what's up. Now, Venice, why don't you tell us what's up with Kwalkese, Hip Life artist?
Well, Hip Life artist Kwalkese denied bail for the third time.
3 times though, it's not easy. But that's not the only thing. Local government minister says he has come up with a way to provide water and 20,000 toilet facilities to homes.
And Parliament has also asked the Ministry of Finance to consider increasing school feeding program fees to 1 cedis. Means it was less than that.
Yes, so we'll tell you exactly how much it was in local news round.
The Parliamentary Committee on Local Government and Rural Development is asking the Ministry of Finance to increase the budgetary allocation for the school feeding program. The money that is put aside for the program used to be 50 pesos per student per day. It has also been increased to 80 pesos in the 2015 budget, but the committee wants the amount to be raised even more to 1 Ghana cedi. Some caterers have threatened to abandon the program because government owes them. Students have also been complaining about the poor quality of food they are being served. Local Government Minister Julius Deborah says starting January 1st, 2015, his outfit will implement a sanitation business module to provide potable water and 20,000 toilet facilities to communities across the country for domestic and commercial purpose. The Sanitation Day initiative by the local government ministry has attracted private and public support. The latest institution to lend its support is the Environmental Protection Agency. The Chief Executive Officer of EPA, Daniel Amlalo, believes protection of the environment is a constitutional mandate of the citizenry, hence the need for them to play a critical role by keeping the country clean. Lawyer for Hip Life artist Kwalkese has taken his bail plea to the Kumasi High Court. The rapper, after 2 failed attempts to get bail at the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly Circuit Court, took his case to the Kumasi High Court Friday hoping to secure bail. He was hoping to get a favorable hearing from the higher court after the circuit court denied him bail on the grounds that the use of narcotics is a non-bailable offense. But the High Court followed the example of the circuit court and refused the musician bail. The Abodam rapper is currently on remand at the Kumasi Central Prisons and is due to reappear before the courts on December 22. This was after he was arrested by Kumasi police for allegedly smoking weed in public.
Time for a break. We'll be right back.
When your kids need it all, there's only one drink that's got it. Cowbell Chocomalt. It's got the delicious taste of chocolate, the nourishment of malt, the all-round goodness of milk, and sugar for energy, all in one sachet. All I add is water, hot or cold. Now, that's real value. And that's real teamwork. Cowbell Chocomalt, 4-in-1 value with a great new taste.
And then there were 4 members of the Monarch Band left to go. Let's meet our next talent.
Lofreda Agude is my name. I'm 12 years of age and I'm a singer in the Monarch Band. Firstly, that it came, I had interest in it and I knew that was my talent. But if I didn't want to be a musician. It's nice being in the Monarch Band because it makes you know how you be and what will make you get interested in it. It's really nice. It makes me a star. The first one was Adam. That was like to show like where you were at first and now how God has brought you into what you are now. And the second one was thank you. That means it be thanksgiving to God for what He has done for you. And the third one was Igwe. Igwe, I don't exactly know what that means. And the fourth one was sanitation. To sanitize the people about how to keep their environment clean and their surrounding clean also. I have 2 siblings. My elderly brother is Richard Ofreda, and my mom's second born is Sheila Ofreda. I like reading, singing, and sometimes dancing. Eshe Olua, Eshe Baba O, Eshe Olua, Adupe Baba. You gave me shelter when I know I die. You made a way when there was no way. You turned my darkness into light. Adupe Baba.
To those of you who love sports, coaching legend Giovanni Trapattini says Italian footballer Mario Balotelli is wasting his career. Ghanaian boxer Richard Comey promises an exciting fight in Denmark, and Tottenham manager not too happy about his team's loss. He's blaming lights. The details in Sports Round.
Coaching legend Giovanni Trapattoni has warned fellow Italian Mario Balotelli that he will look back on his career and realize he has wasted it. The ex-Inter striker failed to impress consistently at the San Siro in Italy despite a flying start, and by the end of his spell back in Milan, the general frustration surrounding Balotelli sped up his transfer to Anfield. Trapattoni, who has trained his fair share of world-class talents and egos during his 40-year coaching career, believes that a 20-year-old will eventually regret his antics on and off the field. Ghanaian boxer Richard Comey is the latest addition to the Nordic Fight Night on Saturday at the Albertsland Music Theatre in Copenhagen, Denmark. The power-punching Ghanaian is promising excitement in his debut against Samir Ziani. Comey says he's really looking forward to the fight, though he expects it to be tough. He has described Samir as an aggressive southpaw, but is confident of beating him. This will be Comey's return, having claimed the Commonwealth title in his last fight with unanimous points victory over UK prospect Gary Buckland in July this year. Tottenham manager Mauricio Pochettino expressed dissatisfaction about 2 laughable stoppages due to floodlights failure as his side slipped to a decisive defeat against Besiktas in Istanbul, Turkey. The 1-0 loss relegated the Spurs to second place in their Europa League group. This means they will face a tougher draw in the next round. Pochettino described the stoppages as difficult to explain. Spurs dominated the first period of the match, with Nasser Chadli having a goal ruled out and Roberto Soldado missing an excellent chance. But the host improved in the second half, and Cenk Tosun scored the decisive goal from Olse Sahan's low cross.
Pages summarized to 525 pages in 5 years. That is the CIA report. The report highlights 20 key findings. What is all of that about? Well, it is what the world is talking about.
CIA, there was a report that the CIA are putting, like, they are infringing their rights, and I want to say that it is not right, because they should be sent to court so that they will be asked why they do that.
CIA people should be arrested because they cannot take somebody's life for granted, and they cannot abuse the right of the people.
A U.S. Senate report indicates the Central Intelligence Agency carried out brutal interrogations of al-Qaeda suspects in the years after terrorist attacks of 9/11 on the U.S. The summary of the report, compiled by Democrats on the Senate Intelligence Committee, said the CIA had misled Americans about what it was doing. The report said the intelligence the CIA collected this way did not secure information that stopped any threats. The enhanced interrogations techniques used by CIA operatives have been called torture by many across the world. The UN Convention Against Torture defines torture as any act by which severe pain or suffering is intentionally inflicted on a person for such purposes as obtaining information or punishment. The report found that the interrogations and conditions of detainees were brutal and far worse than the CIA represented to policymakers and others. The report stated that the CIA's provision of inaccurate information hampered proper legal analysis of the detention and interrogation program. Republicans tried severally to stop the report from being released and even withdrew from the panel.
The report released today examines the CIA's secret overseas detention of at least 119 individuals and the use of coercive interrogation techniques, in some cases amounting to torture. It shows that the CIA's actions a decade ago are a stain on our value and on our history.
Riots and violent attacks on American facilities abroad were expected after the report's release, but none of that has happened yet. Instead, there have been social media messages from jihadist supporters framing the torture report as proof that Americans are waging a global war against Islam. The Taliban released a statement saying the Senate report reveals the true face of America. The head of the CIA defended his office's past use of the enhanced interrogation techniques.
In many respects, the program was uncharted territory for the CIA, and we were not prepared. We had little experience housing detainees, and precious few of our officers were trained interrogators. But the President authorized the effort 6 days after 9/11, and it was our job to carry it out. When the President came into office in January 2009, he took the position that these techniques were contrary to our values, and he unequivocally banned their use. He has consistently expressed the view that these techniques did significant damage to America's standing in the world and made it harder to pursue our interests with allies and partners, something I have experienced firsthand. But as the President stated this week, the previous administration faced agonizing choices about how to pursue al-Qaeda and prevent additional terrorist attacks against our country, while facing fears of further attacks and carrying out the responsibility to prevent more catastrophic loss of life. There were no easy answers. And whatever your views are on EITs, our nation, and in particular this agency, did a lot of things right during this difficult time to keep this country strong and secure.
President Obama has said that some of the tactics described in the report's interrogations were brutal, wrong, and counterproductive.
One of the things that sets us apart from other countries is when we make mistakes, we admit them. And I think that, as I said in my written statement, there are a lot of folks who worked very hard after 9/11 to keep us safe during a very hazardous situation, a time when people were unsure of what was taking place. But what was also true is that we took some steps that were contrary to who we are, contrary to our values. Some of the tactics that were written about in the Senate Intelligence Report were brutal. And as I've said before, it constituted torture in my mind. And that's not who we are.
Barack Obama is under pressure to hold individuals accountable for covering up the torture. The rest of the report has been marked as top secret, but could be made public in future.
Ugandan maid found guilty of child assault. Time magazine honors Ebola workers, and the smallest drone has been developed. Time for a trip around the world.
The Ugandan maid who was secretly filmed beating a little girl has been found guilty of assaulting the toddler. The 22-year-old told the court she had been driven to attack the baby. She claims the mother of the 1-year, 6-month-old child had beaten her. The mother has denied this. The video of the assault caused outrage when it was posted online. The maid now faces up to 5 years in jail for committing assault to cause bodily harm. She is due to be sentenced on Monday. Doctors and volunteers from all over the world who've helped to treat people with Ebola have been praised for their work. The US magazine Time has named them the Person of the Year. They say they risk their lives to treat others. In the past, the award has gone to the US President Barack Obama and Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. A team in the Netherlands have developed the world's smallest drone with a camera. It weighs only 4 grams and can fit in someone's hand. A drone is an aircraft that doesn't have a pilot sitting in it. Scientists who developed the kit say because it's cheap and so lightweight, it's safer to use in built-up areas. And it's a wrap. Dennis, how have you enjoyed your stint on News Generation?
It's been amazing. Hope you guys loved it anyways.
Yeah, well, as always, remember you can find us on social media. Remember our handles?
Yes.
What is it?
Facebook / I don't know. NewsGenerationGH.com.
And on Twitter @NewsGenGH. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Ciao.
Supported by
Cowbell with Vitarid.